and I am the designer and instructor of this course, EDU 134, Teaching English to Adults. I wanted to just make a brief video here to sort of walk you through the navigation of the course. We built the course in one platform, and then we brought each module over individually into Moodle. I personally am a lover of Canvas and have become very adept at course design in Canvas. And it has been many years since I used Moodle, so I am sort of relearning Moodle and finding the functionality a little less than ideal, but it is what we are working with. So I'm going to create this little video to hopefully make it as seamless for you as possible. So when you get to our home page, you'll see a little welcome about the course, and it just is a brief overview of the course. There's a blurb here about me. If you click on Meet Your Instructor, you can read a little bit more about me. If you click this link, it takes you to my faculty profile at the University of Colorado, Boulder. I am really excited about this course. I've been teaching in TESOL related fields for I guess over 20 years now, which is crazy to say. And one of my favorite populations to work with are refugee background adults and teachers of refugee background adults. So I'm really excited to be involved here at the state level with Colorado adult educators. You'll see my contact information. You can email me at any time. You can also call or text me at any time. That's no problem. I don't have set office hours. I teach 4 courses at the university this semester, and I have office hours for my CU Boulder students, but I will happily make an appointment with anyone who would like one. And the next couple of things you'll see here are 2 tabs, 2 forums, one for course announcements. This is where I will share any updates or announcements that I want to reach everybody, but you are also more than welcome to post any announcements about events or resources or needs that you have. Feel free to use that space. We also have a community Q&A. I will check this I'm saying right now I'm going to check it every morning at 9 a.m. I'll try to be as efficient with that as I'm hoping I will be. So every morning, 9 a.m., I'll check the Q&A. I won't be checking it throughout the entire day, so if you ask a question midday, expect a response probably the following morning. There's a link here to our syllabus, and it's a simple syllabus, really. It's just course overview, information about me and how to contact me, and then probably the most valuable piece there is sort of a snapshot of the timeline for the course, so you can see the dates that we'll be running each module, the dates for our live Q&A sessions, which we'll have at the midway point and at the end of the course, and then links to the Zoom room where we will have those virtual live Q&As. The Introduce Yourself link is here. Most of you have already done that. Thank you very much. I'm super excited to get to know you all more. We have a very diverse group of people here, so it'll be really interesting to see what insights everyone brings to the course. If you haven't introduced yourself, please go ahead and do so. Of note, I did create a community of practice Padlet for our group, and I've linked it in this forum. It's also down here in module number 1. So let me click over to it. So this is the Padlet I created. There's a little welcome that sort of gives you some guidelines on how to use Padlet, what you could post. You can add new comments or new posts in each column by clicking on these plus signs. You can respond to an existing post by clicking in the Add Comment section, and you should all be able to add new sections. So I want us to all use this space very freely and populate it as we wish. Here I've created a column for networking. I thought this might be a good space for people to just reach out and say, hey, I would love someone to get into a WhatsApp group with me, or is anyone available to have a quick Zoom on Wednesday evening and talk through some of these readings, or whatever it might be. So anyway, let's just see if we can build a little bit more community through this space. Here, these are just some questions that you were asked to reflect on, or you will be asked to reflect on when you get into Module 1. I've just created a space here to talk a little bit more about them outside of Moodle. And then this is just a fun column where you can just sort of tell us more about yourself. I started by posting a picture of my cute dog and linking to his Instagram, so this is not necessarily course related at all. But do feel free to add sections and add topics and add comments and just sort of, yeah, let's just have fun in this space. Okay, so there are two tabs here, a brief course overview tab and a brief navigating the course tab. But I'm going to walk you through some of the navigation because it is a little difficult to describe in words. Module 1 is what we're starting with. We rearranged our order a little bit, and now we're starting with a module on communities of practice so that we can actually get started building community from day one. So a lot of this content isn't very specific to teaching adult learners of English. It's more about professional development opportunities and how we can build community together, and just sort of exploring some of those options for reflective practice. Originally, this module was going to come at the very end, but after speaking with the reviewers who went through this entire course and gave us feedback, we decided to push this to the front so that it could be in your minds as you're going through these modules, how you could reach out to colleagues and peers at your language programs or in your communities, just to process and digest some of what you're learning. So at the beginning of every module, there's a simple welcome note that just lists the core competencies that are being targeted by the module. And then you'll see this little green circle with a cube in it. This is the bulk of the learning right here. This is a module that we developed on another platform, and then we brought it into Moodle. And I'll show you what that's going to look like in just a second. Here is a link to our Community of Practice Padlet. And then these are two reflective assignments that you'll complete at the end of the module. Almost all of the assignments in this course are designed as forums for discussion, and they prompt you to reflect, to create, to adapt, to consider a scenario, whatever the topic is given the module. I think that what we'll probably implement in this course is for every post you make, you'll also respond to at least 2 peers' posts so that we can, again, build a little bit of engagement, but also just have an opportunity to see what others have said on the topic and also provide our insights to those individuals. Because we're trying to get some interaction in the forum, I'd love to see everybody make their posts by Friday so that we at least have the weekend for others to get in and make responses to peers. The earlier you do it in the week, the better, so we have comments or posts to respond to, but at least by Friday, and then we can take the weekend to focus on responding. Every module has a link to additional readings and resources. Sometimes these will be books and articles, but you'll also find links to videos and websites. And then at the end, you'll find a congratulations, you completed this module page. The reason why we kind of bookended every module with a welcome and a completion is due to the navigation in Moodle, and it's a little confusing. You can find yourself bumping into the next available tab and not realizing where you are. So we bookended with a welcome and a congratulations. So that's how you know that you have completed a module. So I'm going to go into the bulk of the module here. When you click on Communities of Practice, you get to this fairly unattractive little page here. You don't have to change any of these settings, you just have to click on Enter. When you get here, you'll notice this little thing on the side and a gray arrow. Go ahead and click that arrow. It gives you a little bit more space for the main module. And then you actually will probably see a picture that says Enter the module or Start course. I don't see that right now, and I think it's because I was just in this module. But you might see a button, simply click Start Course, and then you'll be back to this page here. So when you're here, what you see is what we created in the other platform. And so you're just going to scroll down, and the whole module is just a matter of scrolling. Each module starts with the core competencies. Each module then invites you to initially reflect on some questions to get you thinking about the topic. There is nothing to post in Moodle related to these reflection questions. This is just an opportunity for you to think, and of course write in your teaching journal, which we introduce in this module, if you'd like. That's not a requirement, but if you'd like to keep a handwritten teaching journal or an electronic journal, you can do so, based on anything that comes to mind, but these questions would be good to reflect on. So we'll outline the aims of each module, and then we get into the module. So I'm not going to scroll through the whole module, but you're just going to go through. Every once in a while you're going to encounter something that's interactive, like this, for example, where you click on some buttons and you engage with the content. Other types of interactive activities include flashcards like these, where you would drag and drop into different categories. And one issue with the way the course looks now that it's in Moodle as opposed to what it looked like before is that because of the header and the sidebar, we've lost space. And so some of our interactive tasks barely fit into the viewing window. And what our reviewers told us was that they were able to minimize. So I'm clicking the Command and negative button on my Mac to make it smaller. So when you're doing some interactive tasks, you may have to shrink the screen so that you can see everything that's on the screen. Of course, that means maybe getting stronger readers for your eyes if need be, but we do apologize for that. The functionality outside of Moodle is so much nicer, and then when it got scormed and put in here, we lost some of the functionality. But anyway, so when you get to the very bottom of this page, you'll be at the bottom of the Moodle page. So if I get outside of this platform and I get over to the side, I can actually move my whole web page, and then I see some of these navigation items that actually come from Moodle. So if you click this too soon, you're going to miss a lot of content that's still in here. Another thing worth noticing is these little tabs. These are completely inactive. We don't know if they belong to Moodle or the other platform, but we cannot remove them. So just ignore them. They don't do anything. But these will activate. So if you click here, you'll go back to the Welcome tab. If you click here, you're going to jump out of this content and you're going to go to one of the first reflective tasks that I've included. So I'll click this here now, assuming we've got to the very bottom of our module. And then we have our announcement about the Community of Practice Padlet. If I click next here, we have our first assignment. If I click next again, I have our second assignment. And then if I click next again, I get to our additional reading and resources. At the bottom of that page, we see congratulations, you've completed Module 1. So that's one way to navigate, is using these tabs down here. Another way is just to go back up to the main navigation tab and see where you are. So here you'll notice we have our welcome, our scoremed package with Module 1, and then reflecting on the module. Go to our Padlet, start a teacher journal, develop an action research plan. This is all, related to the content. And then your readings, resources, and your congratulations. The next module is not available to you all, so there shouldn't be any way to pass through to it. So this is all you've got to tackle for this week. And let me just go back and show you one more thing. So let me enter back into this. Cleaned it up a little bit. So as I scroll down, I'm going to scroll quickly. You'll see that sections are somewhat delineated with numbers. So there's section 1, little interactive activity, section 2, and then after a certain amount of content, you should reach a continue button. When you see that, you can't go beyond that, so go ahead and click continue, and then it reveals the next section. I've used the continue button just to sort of create a space for taking a break. This module is not very lengthy, but some of the modules really are. And so there will be times where you have to watch maybe a 30 to 40 minute classroom teaching video and do a reflective task in this module. And at that point, I would have a continue button where you can sort of just step away, remember kind of what number section you were on, and come back to it later if you'd like to. Okay, so I am going to go back to our main page, and I hope that's fairly intuitive. It is, it's not really too difficult. It's just a little bit clunky sometimes with all of the what I like to call noise in Moodle, but I think we've got it cleaned up fairly well. I'm really excited to get this course started. I hope you all enjoy it. I've mentioned in Module 1 that we are a very diverse group of people, and it was very difficult to design this course with that in mind because some folks are ABE instructors, others are ESOL instructors, some are doing both, some have years of experience, some have very little experience teaching English learners. So I think we're all just going to be very flexible and gentle with one another, and I think that some of you will go through the course more quickly than others as a result of your experience and your background knowledge, and that's why I really do hope that you all kind of can jump into our Padlet here and make some connections, because if there are multiples of you who are teaching English in a prison, for example, or multiples of you who teach math but have English learners in the class, finding similar peers who are doing similar work might facilitate sort of how you go through this course and how you enjoy it. Okay, I won't hold you any longer on this video. I hope you enjoy getting started this week, and definitely feel free to pop your questions in here and be in touch if you have any questions, and I look forward to learning with you. Bye.